you can't put a price on having a solid nurse in place, so when you leave your child with them, you know they're good. Right. You're not at work worrying, oh boy, I wonder what they're doing, or is Andrew being taken care of? And we don't have to worry about that with Kevin. It's not a job to Kevin. He actually cares about Andrew. And he wants to see him do good. And he pushes Andrew to do good.
Right.
It's easy just to strap Andrew in a chair and let him sit there all day. That's not what Kevin does.
Somebody else could probably do that, but Kevin doesn't.
Yeah, he doesn't do that. Kevin goes above and beyond. He's just not a nurse. He's like a big brother. He's someone who pushes Andrew. Back in January, I think it was January 5th of 2007, after being the most active kid in the world. I mean, he used to be in our room there, and he would just run full tilt, back and forth, back and forth. He lost his ability to walk, like that. He couldn't bend over, he couldn't walk. Within a week, he couldn't do anything. And we had to pick him up and move him everywhere. So Andrew actually sat idle for 15 months where he didn't walk at all. We had to move him everywhere. So he had severe muscle atrophy. We went to Children's Hospital of Philly and met our neurologist, and she told us about a drug that they're using in Canada that was not approved in America. We started them March 3rd of 2008. 15 months later. By the end of March, he was attempting to walk. But could you imagine not walking for 15 months?
He was shaking like a leaf. He was scared to death. It was horrible.
He couldn't do it. He could physically take 2 or 3 steps, and then he would just want to fall down. He had no muscle left. He had no wind, where he would actually walk across our room and halfway back, and he'd just go down. There was times where he'd actually lay down and just fall asleep. He was that exhausted. But they didn't give up. Kevin, he came in and he says, hey, we have a surprise for you. We got to tell you. We're like, well, what is it? He goes, we're going to continue to walk with Andrew now that we're getting him to walk farther. And the last week of school, Andrew's going to walk from his home all the way to school, and I want to have all the kids from the school district out there cheering for him. We didn't know how far it was, so we got in the car and it was 2.5 miles. And I called Kevin, I said, hey, he's not going to walk 2.5 miles. He goes, yes, he is.
He said, we've been training and we're going to keep on training.
We're going to do it. We're going to work all this year until May 31st. He's going to do it. We were scared to death, but he kept walking and walking. It turned into a big community event, actually. Newswatch 16 was there. We told everybody, be on the street, be ready, because Andrew's going to be there by 10. Andrew had been there by like 9:15. He smoked these hills, him and Kevin. Yeah. I mean, it blew me away how fast he was going. They had to stop him 3 times and take breaks. Not because he was really tired.
He was going so fast.
The kids were outside the school. He was going to be there. We're like, oh my God. So, but afterwards, it's funny because he walked all that way, and at the end, all the kids kind of filed in, and we're looking at Andrew as he crossed the finish line, and we put him in a stroller, and Kevin was walking through the middle, and all the kids were cheering, and Andrew's kind of looking around,
he's
checking
like,
his kids. He's like, yeah, I'm the man. And he was. You could tell he was beaming.
Yeah.
And he thoroughly enjoyed it. And honestly, I bet he could do another 2.5 miles that day because he was so amped up. It's almost like he knew this is my day to shine.
Right.
Because when he popped out of the chair, he was ready to roll, boy. He was gone, and I was like, man, he's ready to go.
Everybody was cheering him on the whole way along, and I was a mess. I was crying. I just couldn't believe it that the generosity, people would come out, and they were coming out of their houses.
Like I said, if it wasn't for Kevin's idea of making this happen, they wouldn't have been touched either. So it was a community that was touched. I didn't think it was attainable, but you know what? Kevin had that vision. He saw it through, and he pushed him, and he made it. So we're eternally grateful for that.
Yep.
So Kevin's our hero, 1, because he takes good care of Andrew. 2, because he pushes him. 3, he has his best interest in mind for Andrew.
Kevin, just continue to do what you do. We appreciate everything you do, and we're just glad that you're part of our family.
And we're extremely happy you received this honor, and it's well deserved.